Hi everyone, this is Rachel for Cybersports Network. I'm here with my buddy Skisonic, and this is UltraDavid, and we are at Apex 2013. It's a new year. I got to get used to saying 2013, but we're in Rutgers, my old stomping ground here in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and a ton of people showed up to this event. You said you had record numbers. We had almost 400 in Smash, almost 400 in Melee. What did Street Fighter look like, man?
Street Fighter had about 100 people, and the same for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They were kind of compact tournaments, but they were very, very strong. Some really high-level competition in both.
Well, I heard there were some major upsets in this tournament already.
Yeah, some guys who we would expect to do really well didn't make it into the top 8, and some who made it into the top 8 didn't end up taking it. So the top 3 is basically guys who have been good for a while. Only one of them had won a tournament before, and that had been recently. The other 2 we have never seen do that well, so it's kind of a breakout moment for them. But as far as the guys who lost, Sanford Kelly, Wolf Crone, Dominion, people who you would expect to be in top 8s anywhere. But this is like the best of New York and Philadelphia and the Northeast, and Detroit came out. So yeah, it's strange that those guys didn't get top 8.
Well, isn't that good for the scene, though, to have some kind of new competition, the people that have been putting the hours in, who have been sticking with it and maybe not winning or finally coming up now? Does that indicate maybe a change in their practice or a change in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I know those guys have been practicing a lot. Third place especially has been doing crazy. Like his Sagat is something he's been working on for a long time, and he takes the game very seriously. I mean, losing, winning, all of those things are very important to him. So you could see that. You could see it in the way he trained. He clearly scoped out players. Yeah, it's good. It's a good moment.
Well, that's very exciting. I know one of the major things on the line here was like an all-expense-paid trip to this tournament that's happening in the Caribbean. Do you know anything about that?
VXG, Video X Games in St. Martin, run by Rolando. Should be very interesting. Last year, they had their first event. It was a little bit smaller, but you know, the stream went well, and there's a lot of good response from everybody that was out there. So now they're coming out to tournaments like this, to Apex, and awarding all expenses paid trips, in many cases, to the winners of these tournaments. Not just here, we got Wednesday night fights, the Street Fighter 4 champion and the Tekken Tag 2 champion. So they're going all over the place and really interfacing directly with the fighting game community to bring people out. So it's interesting what they're going to be doing, and I'm really anxious because, yo, I want to party in St. Martin, right? Don't you?
I want to go. If you guys are hiring, I host, I interview, so whatever. But anyway, this is like really exciting for Apex. Like you said, this was kind of like EVO 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know. But here we are, we're at this big event. Last year was a road to EVO stop. Now it's a stop on this big St. Martin's trip. Is this a significant event for the fighting game community, or you have more people come out to this? Because any season in the area, that gets a lot of hits, but you don't hear a lot of people talking about Apex.
Well, it's definitely one of the bigger events. We would call it maybe a regional. This will be the biggest tournament we have in the month of January. Pretty much. So everybody that's training and wants to play big for the next 30 days, they came out here. There will be some other things this month. There's also SoCal Regional, so I guess that you would have the big event on the West Coast, and this will be at least the biggest thing that we have on the East Coast. So it's definitely a market event, and in the fighting game community, we tend to view things by the quality of the competition, and everybody is out here. The top players in the East Coast. We had some players travel from Midwest, the Maryland, Virginia region, so a lot of respectable competition. Even the EVO champ of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out, Filipino champ himself.
Well, that bodes well. This is like one of the first major events, the first major event for 2013. So what kind of tone has this set for the rest of the year, do you think?
If this is representative of how the year is going to go, it's going to be a crazy year. It's going to be one that has good matchups. Filipino champ versus Chris G in the finals of Marvel 3 was amazing. If that were to be a regular occurrence, those two playing against each other, that would be great. Street Fighter 4 having, you know, more character variety, but also more player variety now is a big thing too. And I mean, really what this tournament is it's EVO for Smash, and fighting games are also here. And so it's cool for Smash to see, you know, their best players came out from all over the world, not just North America, but East Asia and South America and Europe and everywhere. So for them, this is gigantic. It's how they start things off, and it's the biggest thing of the year. So
it's really exciting. Fighting games have really, I don't want to say they've picked up, because they've always had a really strong scene. You've always had a ton of events going on. But now, I mean, esports is bleeding in. You guys are bleeding into esports. We saw fighting games at MLG. Thanks, buddy. We saw fighting games at MLG this past year. So what were your thoughts on that? Like, was it done well?
I went to MLG in Anaheim. Like it wasn't really run in the way that I'm accustomed to a fighting game tournament being run. I would have a lot of critiques for it. It seems so far, from what I've heard about how IPL wants to do things, that they're planning to do it differently and more with an eye toward how the fighting game community has been doing things rather than trying to redefine. Which is great. I mean, I'm really happy to hear about how they're planning to do it. Hopefully it happens like that, right? Like hopefully, I'm rooting for that. That'd be great.
Well, what would you guys say that esports has done right for the fighting game community in the past year? What steps have they taken that you think have improved the scene in any way, if any?
And the microphone comes to me. Yes. No, it's actually pretty good. The first thing that I would say actually is getting Capcom on board. That is like moving a mountain. You cannot do that easily. They put a lot of work into that, and I mean, just being persistent. They quote-unquote esports, you know, MLG, IPL, whatever company that it is, could have just turned away. They had to work very, very hard to get these games into their events, and it shows that they wanted it. They had a passion for the games, these communities, these players, and these eyes. They wanted to bring everything together. So I think that that's their biggest accomplishment, and I gotta say, I never thought it was possible, so kudos.
Well, yeah, MLG, I mean, they were the ones who had this whole year now to work in the fighting community. They had King of Fighters, they had some Soul Calibur, some interesting stuff, but it seems like IPL really won the draw now when they secured Capcom. So what does IPL have to do to make this appeal to the fighting game community?
I don't think it's super hard. You can basically listen to what fighting game players want and then do that. I don't know, I feel like it's super easy actually, but actually doing it is going to be trouble. Or I don't know about trouble, it's going to be difficult. I know that there are institutional things that, you know, are hard to get moving, right? I mean, I know how a company works, I've been there. So it just remains to be seen whether that happens. I hope that they do a good job. Certainly they've hired people like Mike Ross to try to help it out, get that perspective from a fighting game player as to what they should be doing. Hopefully they pay attention. If they do, I think it'll go great.
All right, well, I have high hopes as well. I love you guys. I'd love to see you around more esports events, especially IPL, because it's so fun to hang out in Vegas. But I want to give you guys a chance. Is there any shout-outs you want to make? Maybe any advice you want to share to esports as they enter into FGC even further?
Man, Mike to me, huh?
You both get your shot.
I don't know. I mean, just let's not like overcomplicate things. Like, it's pretty clear what fighting game players want. It's basically this kind of situation that is here. That's all. I mean, please do that. Please do what it is that we like. The thing is that that's always been strange to me, is that it seems like MLG, when it had fighters and before IPL has Mike Ross, etc., their view too, was that they were going to try to, it was more about MLG and IPL defining what the event was going to be, rather than just taking what the fighting game community had done for a decade and duplicating it, or having people on board who could make the same kind of thing. So I mean, if you're starting up with some new scene, some new community, some new business, step one is understand who the people are that you're marketing to and that you're trying to get to attend. Just understand, and through understanding, you can then do what it is that they want to see. So that's all.
They just want you to understand, guys. So is there anything you want to add to that? Any shout-outs you have?
For any potential players, if you view this and you see a little bit of Street Fighter, there's going to be a lot more this year. There's going to be a lot, as you said, bleeding over any of the events. So if you're interested in Street Fighter, just give guys like UltraDavid a call. Check out UltraChen TV. Check out the fighting game forums. Go out to an event. We're all over. There are plenty of regional events, weeklies, monthlies. The best way to get involved in this community is to just play, and we're really open, and we'll invite you with open arms and show you how to play.
Hey, you guys invited me with open arms many years ago, and I stuck around. I have a great time. I love you guys. I'm so excited I got to see you here. I'm so excited I got to meet you, and thank you guys for watching. We're at Apex.